There is really no position in pro sports that gets scrutinized, analyzed, and, let's be frank, judged more harshly than a rookie quarterback,
Oh, for sure.
especially when they land in a major football market.
Yeah.
You are just instantly thrust under this microscope, and you're expected to be the savior. The pressure it's immense.
It's the ultimate high wire act.
Yeah.
Because you've got all the physical demands of the NFL game, right? But then you've got this massive mental load of learning a completely new, complex system.
Right.
And you're often doing it, like you said, for a franchise that's just been starved for success, which it just amplifies every single mistake tenfold.
And that brings us directly to Cleveland. The major news is that the Browns have confirmed it. Rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders is getting his third consecutive start this weekend against Tennessee.
And that's the key phrase, right? Third consecutive. This moves the conversation past, an emergency fill-in situation and into a full-scale evaluation. We have to look beyond just the final score of that loss to the 49ers and really analyze what this extended audition means. Not just for Sanders, but for Coach Stefanski and for a franchise that just desperately needs some stability at that position.
And it's a significant commitment. It suggests they're willing to accept the growing pains that come with developing a young player. And let's not forget, they did this before.
Right, with Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel got a similar runway earlier this season. He had 6 straight starts before he got hurt. So now it's Sanders' time to show them what he can do with some real reps.
And what's fascinating here is that willingness to commit to the process, especially given the history of quarterback turnover in Cleveland. They seem, maybe finally dedicated to letting a young guy fail and learn instead of just pulling the plug after one rough game.
Okay, so let's unpack that last outing, his first home start, and it's against a really tough opponent in the 49ers, a game they lose 26-8. And looking at the raw data, the numbers look safe, maybe a little too safe.
Exactly. The stats tell a pretty nuanced story. So Sanders completes 16 of his 25 passes. That's a solid 64% completion rate.
Not bad on its own.
Right. It suggests he's accurate, he's making the primary reads, and he got a touchdown. But the devil is in the details, and those completions only went for 149 yards.
Oof. Yeah, that's a meager 5.9 yards per attempt. In today's league, when you're trying to stretch the field, 5.9 is, it's the definition of a cautious, low-ceiling offense.
It implies a heavy reliance on short routes, slants, flats, quick throws, basically anything to combat the pressure that a defense like San Francisco generates. It's the playbook of a coach protecting a rookie.
No, sure.
And Coach Stefanski's reaction kind of confirmed that. He said Sanders is battling, but then he immediately said, he'll have plays he wants back once they review the film.
That is classic coach speak for, we saw missed opportunities, but we're not going to panic. But I found Sanders' own comments much more telling and, frankly, pretty impressive. He was immediately accountable.
He didn't hedge at all. No excuses. He just said point blank, obviously we lost, so I ain't play well. He wasn't blaming the O-line, wasn't blaming the defense. His focus went right to preparation. He said he needed to know what we could do differently going about the week.
And that level of self-critique is what you look for in a franchise quarterback. But you also have to ask, is he taking on too much of the blame for what might be systemic failures?
That's the balance, right? I mean, a 149-yard performance isn't going to win you many games, but how much of that is the play design and how much is the rookie just learning to trust his arm?
And that's why this extended look is so important. Sources are saying the Browns are open to giving Sanders an extended look for the rest of this season.
Which means this isn't just about trying to squeak out a win against the Titans.
Yeah.
They're committed to this evaluation through January. They realize you can't truly know what you have in a quarterback until you see how they handle weeks and weeks of game planning, scouting reports, and, the mounting pressure from losses.
They're investing in the data set. The results might be ugly now, but they need the full picture.
Let's go back to that Week 13 game, though. Specifically the sequences that really define that loss. Because there was a moment. There was a moment where they showed what they could be.
There was a genuine spark, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a flash of rookie-to-rookie connection. The only time Cleveland took the lead was late in the second quarter. Sanders hits the rookie tight end, Harold Fannin Jr., for a 34-yard touchdown.
Beautiful play. put them up 8-7.
Mm-hmm.
And they even had this eventful 2-point conversion where they punched it in with a run by another rookie, Quinshon Judkins, but only after the 49ers got flagged for too many men on the field.
So they got the lead, they got the spark.
And then the wheels just came off.
Right.
All due to critical execution failures in short yardage situations.
And this raises a massive red flag. When you're trying to win in the NFL, especially with a rookie QB, you have to nail the fundamentals. And fourth and short, that's where you show your discipline. And the Browns failed twice.
And those failures decided the game.
Absolutely. The first miss cost them points early. Trailing 7-0, they go for it near the 49ers' 20-yard line. Judkins gets stuffed.
A turnover on downs inside the 20 is always deflating, but like you said, that was just the appetizer for the real disaster.
Oh, man.
But decisive error was just catastrophic. And it says a lot about the trust or maybe the desperation of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Still trailing by only 2 points, 10-8 in the second half.
Yeah.
The Browns go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 33-yard line.
Deep, deep in your own territory.
Yeah.
And the execution was, it was a travesty. Fannin mishandles the exchange on what looked like a sneak. It wasn't even about the play call. It was a fundamental miscue.
And that's where the organizational failure becomes tangible. Going for it on your own 33 when you're only down 2 isn't courage. It's a massive gamble. And when you fail because of a simple error, like a mishandled snap,
it just signals a lack of discipline that goes way beyond one player.
It permeates the whole structure.
Yeah.
And what was the immediate result?
Brock Purdy gets the ball with a short field.
Yep. And 9 plays later, he scores, puts the Browns in a 2-score hole they never recovered from. Those 4th down failures, especially that one, that decided the outcome.
We should also briefly mention the injury scare late in the game. Sanders slides on a scramble and stays down for a moment.
Right, the ankle.
Looked like a minor ankle issue.
Yeah. Dylan Gabriel comes in for one play, which just shows you how thin their margin for error is. But Sanders came right back in.
Which speaks to his toughness, for sure. Builds respect in the locker room, but it also just highlights the fragility of this whole plan right now.
So now we have to shift from that single game, which dropped them to a dismal 3-9, to the broader historical implications for this franchise. Because this is where the conversation gets, well, truly depressing.
This is where we have to address the history head-on. That loss clinched the Browns' 4th losing season in 6 years under Coach Stefanski. But when you zoom out, the number is staggering.
It's unbelievable. Since
returning to the NFL in 1999, this organization has now had its 23rd losing season in 27 seasons. Just let that sink in. 23 out of 27. That is a record of failure that is almost impossible in modern professional sports. It means for pretty much every player drafted in the last quarter century, failure has been the default expectation.
It is shocking, and it is unrivaled. The data shows that going into 2025, no other team had more than 17 losing seasons in that same time frame. So we're not just talking about struggles. We're talking about an organizational inability to succeed that just dwarfs the rest of the league.
And what are the downstream effects of that? It's more than just bad draft picks. It impacts everything. Fan confidence, player development.
Yeah.
You're bringing young talent into an environment that's just built on a culture of losing.
It creates a climate of panic. Every setback is seen as proof that the team is doomed. So when a rookie like Sanders walks in, he doesn't just inherit a playbook. He inherits the baggage of 2 decades of high turnover and low expectations.
Right.
And that's why every single play, like those botched 4th downs, gets magnified so much.
Right. Sanders himself, the rookie, seems really aware that this isn't a quick fix. He was emphasizing patience. He used a line that I think should be the franchise's unofficial motto. This team is not going to be a microwave thing.
That's a powerful quote because it forces everyone to look past just the quarterback. He's admitting the systemic issues run deeper. He even specified the need for chemistry, talking about time on task with guys like Jerry Jeudy to build trust and be able to see things at the same lens.
But here's the question. Is that genuine wisdom from a developing leader? Or is that a politically smart answer to manage expectations because he already knows the infrastructure around him isn't ready to win?
I think it's probably both, but the wisdom part is undeniable. He's asking for time to build a foundation.
Something the Browns have rarely given any quarterback since 1999.
Exactly. Whether it was coaching changes or front office instability, the constant turnover is the exact opposite of the chemistry he's calling for.
So this whole situation just becomes a perfect case study in rebuilding. How much blame do you put on a rookie QB, and how much is on the systemic failure to support that talent with consistency? So let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for you if you're tracking this fascinating and, yeah, frustrating rookie story? Sanders is getting the extended opportunity he needs for real development. That's a good sign.
It is. It's a sign of organizational patience. However, that's happening against the backdrop of historical struggles that are, like we said, just staggering. 23 losing seasons. It highlights these deep-seated execution issues that go way beyond who's under center.
The commitment to the process is commendable, but the results from Week 13 show the problems run deeper than just a rookie's growing pains. Given the constant turnover of quarterbacks in the franchise's history, you have to look past the player and at the environment.
And that's the final thought I'd leave you with. If the Browns really want to move past this microwave mentality and build the chemistry Sanders is calling for, what specific element, beyond the quarterback, has to be fundamentally fixed? Is it the coaching staff's consistency? Is it the front office's ability to build depth?
Right.
Because until that organizational foundation is stable, even the most talented young player is going to struggle to lift the crushing weight of those 23 losing seasons.
That is the generational question that defines the whole franchise. We're watching very closely to see how Sanders handles his third straight start this weekend.
For sure. Until next time.